kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanura mardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhascha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravidam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva tvameva sarvam gurudeva deva. Hari Om. We are doing sloka 86 of the chapter 7 of Panchadashi, Trupti Deepa Prakarana. And let's chant that sloka 86 again. Yatha vidirupadihi syat, yatha vidirupadihi syat, pratishedastadanakim nathanakim, pratishedastadanakim, suvarnaloha vedena, suvarnaloha vedena, shrunkalatvam na vijyate, shrunkalatvam na vijyate. Yatha vidhi, just as upadhi syat, just as the pure consciousness is with the upadhi, pratishedasas tathana, even when the upadhi is not there, same way, it's possible whether the presence or absence of the upadhi has no bearing. The question is whether I identify myself with the presence or with the absence. Oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. So I am only complaining about what I don't have because that's only upadhi only. Equipments that I don't have this, I don't have house, I don't have all those, whether in terms of the comforts or I have the comforts and I have this and I have that. So with or without, they are only equipments. They make life perhaps a comfortable living, but that itself has no meaning from the point of the totality. You need a comforts in order to pursue the even adhyatmika study. Your stomach should be full in order for you to sit down and contemplate also. But that itself is only meant to maintaining the food, maintaining the body. So body maintenance is required until one realizes. After that, body maintenance is required until prarabdha karma is there. And that's a part of the life itself. So yatha vidhi upadhi syat pratishedasta tadhanakim. How can that be absence of the upadhi also a bondage? It's presence or absence. It's not that makes a difference. It is my identification with the presence or the absence of the upadhi. I don't have it also, I have a problem. I have it also is a problem. If I identify myself, I am this. Whether this is due to presence or absence of it. So all my struggle is only pravrutti and nivrutti, trying to gain what I like, that is essentially trying to acquire things, that is upadhi, sasad, and getting rid of things I don't like, that is essentially the pratisheda. So either pravrutti or nivrutti, my problem still remains because I am still unhappy because I feel I am limited. And therefore, I want this and I don't want this. All those raga dveshas come into picture. So it is suvarna loha bedena shrunkalatvam abhidyate. Whether it is a gold chain or a ring or the iron chain, it won't make a difference. For if it is binding you, you will be sitting at home. You will be essentially bound. So a simple example scripture gives is, if you are in a house by yourself alone, and if it is your choice, then it is freedom. But if somebody locks you in, then it is a prison for you, because you cannot get out, you are not free. But if you want to, if you are by choice, if you are going to stay alone, then it's not a prison. It is your choice, it is a freedom also. So whether it is a prison or a freedom depends upon how you identify yourself with the surroundings also. That's what is essentially scripture says. Now we take the slokas 87. Atad vyavrutti rupena Atad vyavrutti rupena sakshat vidhi mukhena cha sakshat vidhi mukhena cha Vedantanam pravuttihi syat Vedantanam pravuttihi syat Dvidhetyacharya bhashitam Dvidhetyacharya bhashitam. Together. Atad vyavrutti rupena sakshat vidhi mukhena cha Vedantanam pravuttihi syat Dvidhetyacharya bhashitam. Atad vyavrutti rupena. So, by vyavrutti, by rejecting what I am not, by negating the not self, or sakshat vidimukhena cha, by affirming myself, by claiming myself what I am. One side I am claiming I am this, at the same time I am claiming I am not this. So in one side I am negating what I am not, and also that is I am negating not self, and at the same time claiming I am the totality also. So this is what Vedanta teaches. Vedantanam pravuttihi syat. So, in ways of the statements of the Vedanta, says pravrutti and nivrutti, both are expositions are being seen. Iti Acharya bhashitam. This is what our Acharyas have described. That's what the Vedanta says. So here, if you go to the teaching of the Brihadaranya Upanishad, it starts neti neti vakyam. Neti neti means not this, not this. So in the inquiring of Tattvamasi, there are two components. One is the Tvam Padartham, another is Tat Padartham. So in Tvam Padartham, who am I? Who am I inquiring is, I am a subject and I am not an object. That is the analysis, and some teachers emphasize that's all you need to know in order to realize. But that's only one aspect of the three components Tattvamasi. That's only Tvam Padartha Vicharam. So in the Tvam Padartha Vicharam, I am only finding out who am I. Who am I is only 1/3 of the problem here. I am trying to solve 1/3 of the problem, and people claim that that's all you need. You don't need to study scriptures, you need to analyze. And how do you analyze? This is because you are not this. So, by neti neti vakyani, by not this. What not this? Because in the statement, I am this is my ahankara. So, what is ahankara ego? Ego is nothing but I am equal to this. The whole ego is nothing but I am equal to this. This is different from different people. What constitutes this is different, but I am part is the same. Everybody will say I am, and then this, and this starting with the body, starting with Sariram. Sariram is different from each people. So I claim myself this is my Sariram, you claim yourself that is your Sariram, and some are big Sariram, some are small Sariram. So the qualities of the Sariram, you claim I am 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall. That is the tallness of the Sariram, Bhautika Sariram. That is Idam. Idam means this is this, because you can point out the body is this. This is my body. So first statement is this is my body. This means I am a possessor of this body. So I am the owner of this body. So owner is different from what you own. This is my house. I am not the house, but this is my house. So same way, this is my body. When I claim that this is my body, I am only claiming this is called mamakaram. This is mine, is mamakaram. But mamakaram shifts to ahankaram when I say I am the body. When I say I am the body, hey, you are touching me. I am not touching you, I am only touching your body. So no, you are touching me. So the claim that I am the body, this is my body, shifts to I am the body, that is mamakaram goes into ahankaram. So people want to make I am this, and they expand this, say I want this. So whole lifetime is only trying to gain this. Because the more I am, more I have, that it becomes mine, and that's called mamakara, more I am also. Hey, I have $1 million house. So house is $1 million, but therefore I am also big. And I have a big job, therefore I am also big. So I am also becoming bigger along with this that is going with which I am associating. So I am this, I become, this is mine, has become I am this, and therefore the notion that I am this itself is a ahankara, and ahankara is a problem, because when I say I am this, now obviously I am not that. So inclusion of this automatically excludes that, therefore ahankara gets limited. And I don't like limitations because that's not my nature. Intrinsic nature is I am infinite. Therefore what I should do, I want that also included in this. So I'm trying to go after that and this and that, like a rat race. What do I am trying to do? Getting that which doesn't belong to me into this group of that which belongs to me. So all that I want to be in this. So when do I stop this rat race? Only if I have everything. That means if I have the whole universe, then there is nothing more for me to go after, because everything is I have. That means the whole universe should be included in this. Then I am the happiest guy in the world. That's how in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the scale of Ananda, say Manushyananda is Gandharvananda, then Devananda, so on and so forth. Every step he is 100 times more Ananda than the previous fellow. So one Manushya Ananda is one unit of Ananda, is the one who owns the whole universe, whole world, and he is young enough to digest whatever he eats, and that fellow's Ananda is one unit. And Gandharva San is 100 times more happy than this guy. So therefore each one is having more and more, and therefore he is more and more happy. But his statement, we said, along with the statement, the fellow is also happy who doesn't have any of this. How? Say, so triyasya kamaya tasya, the one who does not have anything, so akama, who does not have any desires for it, is contented with what he has. He also is happy of the same level. That means he doesn't have anything below that level, he is contented. He may have a desire for higher level. Same way, the one who is all the way in the top, if he has sotriyaha akamayaha, that means he is no more desire for anything. That means he is atmaniyeva atmanatushtaha. He is satisfied with himself. That's called truptihi. Trupti prakaranam is the chapter name here. He is contented with what he has. He has done because he knows that he is everything in the world, and that's not by possessing but by claiming that he is Brahmasmi. So here the aspect of the Vedanta teaches two methodologies. One is negation of your identification with this. That's called the Atad Vyavrutti Rupena. Vyavrutti means negation of what? Negation of not self. Negation of not self is what? Negation of not self, identifying as self. That's what is the problem. You cannot really negate not self, because the whole universe is there. So therefore, what I am negating is only, I am not the body, I am not the body while using the body. That's the problem. Say, I have to use the body, and I have to use the mind, and I have to use the intellect, and say, I am not the body, I am not the intellect, and I am not the mind. It's a very ungrateful statement, because you are using it, and at the same time you are saying, I am not. That's what Neti has to be understood correctly. It's not a renunciation of the object per se. It is the renunciation of the identification with the object. That's what the problem is. It's not having a possessing something. So one can be a sannyasi, but he may be possessing his kaupinam and getting attached to it. Then he is as bound as the other one who is having $1 million also, because he is having $1 million, this fellow is having a kaupinam, but both are attached to what they have. It is the attachment to what you possess is the one that is causing a problem, because if there is whatever is affected, you are affected because you are attached to it. If you are unaffected, then it doesn't matter whether it's a $1 million house or the kaupinam is gone. It says there is one in the Visishtha Advaita, one Alvar is there. he had is only one blanket. It is a multi-purpose blanket because he was wearing it because there is nothing else to wear, and he was holding it and covering it because in the cold he was sleeping on the floor. Half of the blanket is lying and half of the blanket is putting on it. So because as long as the blanket, he has to carry that blanket and he has to wash the blanket and so on and so forth. But that's all he had, and he is happy with it. And one wind suddenly, he was praising God. Suddenly God put pitied on him, and out of compassion he blew big wind and even the blanket left away. So even that, whatever he has, is gone. But the Alvar jumps with joy. Oh God, now I have nothing to worry about. Now you have to protect me because you are the Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. So you are covering me now. I don't have to worry. If I have blanket, now I have to, for modesty, I have to carry it. Now I don't need to worry about anything. So Alvar jumps with joy. So that is what means he doesn't have anything to claim himself as his. That's what is essentially, when you don't have it, Lord himself, it takes care of it. Yogatshemam vahamyam ananyas chintayanto ma yajana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktam yogatshemam vahamyam. If you don't have any other thought, ananyas chintayanto ma, so without any thought other than myself, that is a condition. Not that, oh Lord, I want you and I want this, I want this, I want this, and you and Allanga is looking for everything, then he is not really looking for me. He wants me only so that he can get what he wants. And Lord Shiva and Parvati was looking, and Parvati says, there are so many on this Shivaratri day, they are coming for you, so many bhaktas are there. The Lord Shiva laughs. None of them is my bhakta. Says, what do you mean none of your bhakta? They are all going there and praying you. Says, go and see what they are praying for. So when he goes and listen to them, everybody says, Lord, please give me this, give me help, give me that, and give me. So they have a big list of prayer only. What they are looking for is not the Lord, but a big list of what they want. So that's why God says, nobody really wants me. So he says, what is a God? This is called Arthartis. What is a real God? Is Jignasu and Jnanam, or higher bhaktas, as Krishna says. One who wants to know me and wants to have claimed myself. And this is, now hold on to his feet. And that's what is essentially the Sharanagati of the Visishtadvaita also, where you have to hold on to his feet. One is called the Marjala Nyayam and Markataka Nyayam. These are called the two philosophies of the Visishtadvaita. Says one is the Varahalai and another is the Tengalai. One is the one who has surrendered completely is like a Marjalam. Marjalam is like a kitten surrenders completely to its mother, and it becomes a mother's responsibility to carry the kitten from one place to another place, from a place of where it is dangerous to a place where it is safety. The kitten doesn't do anything. The mother holds its neck and carries all the way. That's called Marjala Nyayam, where once you surrender to the Lord, it becomes his responsibility, then the Lord will take care. Ananyas chintayanto ma'i janah paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam. There, nityabhyuktanam yogatshemam vahamya. I am to take care of their yoga and shema. Yoga is trying to gain what they want, and shema is protecting what they have. So both I will take care of it, provided they have no other thought other than me. Then Lord will take care of it. And that is essentially one type of surrenderance that this is the Saranagati is claimed in that Marjala Nyayam. Markataka Nyayam is like a monkey, baby monkey. It has to hold on to the mother. Mother doesn't do anything. It jumps from one branch to the other branch and so on, and not worried about whether the baby is going to fall down or not. But the baby's responsibility is hold on to the mother. So in the other philosophy, you have to hold on to him all the time. You cannot leave his hand. So Swami Tejamayana uses another example. He says you should have one leg under his feet and one leg above his feet. So one leg under his feet so that you don't run away from him. One leg above his feet so that he doesn't run away from you. This is a combination of Marjala Nyayam and Markataka Nyayam. But in any place, you have to completely surrender. What is the surrendering? Surrender is giving up your notion that I am this, I am this, I am this, because I am a subject and this is. So, neti neti vakyani, that's how Brihadaranyaka says, neti neti vakyani. So, they are called atad vyavrutti rupena, by rejecting what I am not, is one of the, by negation of things that doesn't belong to me. Sakshat vidimukhena cha. So, in the Sakshat vidimukhena cha, by affirming also what I am. So, one is negating one side, another side is affirming other side. Both are taught in the Vedanta. So, Sakshat vidimukhena Vedantanam dvidha. So, there are both teachings in the Vedanta. One side there is reject all these things, other side says you are everything also. Say, how can I be both? I say, I am not this, I am not this. At the same time, Aitadacham idagam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi svetaketo. You, the essence of everything is you again. So what am I rejecting? I am only rejecting the names and the forms only, because when I say I am not this, but at the same time I am this also. How can both be possible? There are contradictions. The only way to solve the problem is I am not this, but I am essence of this. So what I am rejecting is only superficial names and forms. Gold can say I am not a ring, but I am also a ring also. So it doesn't say I am not a ring, it's ring also, but only what is rejecting is only nama and rupa, name and a form. Same way, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. At the same time, I am the very substantive of this also. I am the very adhara, adhisthana of the whole universe too. So Vedantanam pravrittihi syat. So in the two ways that Vedanta teaches, both statements are there. And pravritti syat iti acharya bhashitam. This is what we learn. This is called michyatva darsanam. What I have to see is all this is only mithya. Mithya means what? It is neither real not unreal. What I am rejecting is unreal, the reality that I am giving to importance as though this is real, different from me, is what I am rejecting. At the same time, I am the adhishthanam, I am the substantive of the whole thing, therefore I am one with it. At the same time, I am only different from the superficial. So what I am rejecting is only superficial attributive content of this. So when I say I am not this, at the same time I am this. I am not this only from the point of superficial names and forms, but I am the very substantive that provides from me, because I am the adhara, I am the support for this. So how can I support the whole universe? It's always a question. I am only tiny guy. How can I support the whole universe? How do you know there is a universe? Because, how do you know that I am universe? Because I can experience the world. So I am the one who is an experiencer, and that the world is experience. So I am seeing this. So how do you see it? How do I see it? This is going to be talked in more detailed in the next few slokas. But here just a glimpse of it is, how can I be the world? Because without me, the world cannot exist. World cannot be illumined. The existence of the world or existence of any object is established by the knowledge of my existence. If I am in a deep sleep state, the world is not there. So one day I can take a movie of the world when you are sleeping and show you when you get up. That world was there when you are sleeping. That's the normal people argue about. But when I am sleeping, you are not also not there. How are you going to take picture? There is no one to take picture because you are not there. Oh, I am there. Only when you get up, when I get up in the morning, you claim that you have took picture of the past when I was sleeping. But that's only in the waking state where I am already there. So I am confirming your existence and your past actions. But while I am sleeping, even you are not there. And I am all by myself in the deep sleep state. There is no world. Naganchana kamam kamayata. In the Mandukya Upanishad says there is no object of desire. Ditiyadva, there is no second at all. That's why one is completely happy in the deep sleep state only because any duality causes a problem. Ditiyadvo bhayam bhavati. Any fear comes only from the second. You are not afraid of yourself, you are afraid of the second. So when people say, I am afraid of to be alone by myself. So what you are afraid is, you assume that you are only this body, mind, intellect, and therefore other bodies and mind intellects are going to bother you. That's what you are afraid of. So when you say, I am alone as in this body, mind, intellect, therefore I am going to be afraid of other body, mind, intellects that are there moving around. They may come and rob me or hit me and all that. So the fear is there, not the lack of the reality, but the fear is because of thinking that it is the pick up on. Okay. So it is the notion that there is something other than me. That's what. But in the deep sleep state, when you are all alone, there is no notion of even that I am alone is also not there. So you can be completely happy there. So that is essentially Vedantanam pravrittihi syat Dvidetya Acharya Bhashitam. So that the two ways of teaching can go on because of this. So that, how much time, Amma? Okay. So we'll take next sloka, 88. Ahamartha parityagat, ahamartha parityagat, aham brahmeti dhikutaha, aham brahmeti dhikutaha, naivam amsasya hityagaha, naivam amsasya hityagaha, bhagalakshana yoditaha. Together, ahamartha parityagat, aham brahmeti dhikutaha, naivam amsasya hityagaha, bhagalakshana yoditaha. So aham artha parityagat. So when the meaning of artham, I am rejecting the meaning of I am, when it is rejected, aham brahmat iti dihi kutaha, how can you claim that I am again, that I am Brahma? You are rejecting I am not this, at the same time you are claiming something else. So how is it possible? Can there be knowledge without I am? So when I say I am, who is saying that? It is buddhi and the intellect. And buddhi intellect cannot claim that I am Brahmasmi. Neither Chidabhasa can claim that I am Brahmasmi. And Kutastha need not claim I am Brahmasmi. Then who is realizing what? There's always a problem. And that's being raised here. Says, na evam amsasya hi tyagaha bhagalakshana yoditaha. So aham artha parityagat, when the meaning of aham I am is rejected, aham brahma iti dihi kutaha. So how can one realize or one can get the knowledge of I am Brahman? When I reject I am not the buddhi, I am not this one, then how can the knowledge will take place? If knowledge takes place in the buddhi, but I am not a buddhi. So buddhi may gain knowledge, but I don't gain any knowledge. So how am I going to know? This is the problem that's been. This is evam nahi. That thinking is wrong. This is why? Amsasya bhagatyaga lakshana uditaha. So what is we have? This rejected is only, say bhagatyaganam is only we have rejected superficial attributive content of the things, but claiming the essence as I am. So bhagatyaga lakshana that we already discussed is actually has to be understood clearly in this, in order to answer the question. What was the question again? Since I am, who is claiming I am? He's going to talk more details in that. Who is claiming that I am? This is a very important question to have clear, because a lot of philosophical discussions are there and different interpretations are also there. Because some people say you have to go beyond the mind. So, manasantu kim margane krute naiva manasam marga arjavat. So, Ramana Maharshi says in the Upadesana, if you inquire manasantu kim, what is the mind? Manasantu kim margane krute. That is the direct path of why. What is this mind? Naiva manasam, there is no mind at all. So that is Marga Arjava, that is a straightforward path. Says this is what, therefore people think that you have to dissolve the mind. Says the mind is full of thoughts, therefore no thoughts. You go to a state where the mind has no thoughts. Just now he said whether it's an absence or presence is of the upadhi will not make any difference. You are going from the golden chain to from the iron chain to a golden chain, but you are still chained. What's here says what is exactly I am rejecting and what I am exactly is a claim, and who is rejecting also need to be understood. When they say Manasantu, inquire with what? What is this mind? Manasantu kim agane krute, says Brahmana Maharshi says, inquire what is the nature of the mind. Now who is inquiring what is the nature of the mind? It's the mind only, because we don't have any other instrument. So mind has to inquire what is the nature of the mind. So when it says Naiva Manasam, there is no mind. So what is the no mind means what? The inquiring mind is also gone. So there is no more inquiry also. Then where is the what is left? Nothing is left. So what is understood? That's why one has to be clear understanding of even Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's teaching also, where a lot of interpretation is going on there too. So inquire, who am I inquiring? Who has to inquire? It is the mind only can inquire, because there is no other instrument also. That's why you have to use a viveka. Viveka is with the buddhi. Buddhi has to be used. And in the buddhi, I have to know that I am not this. That includes the buddhi also. So it's a very peculiar understanding that using the buddhi, I have to say I am not the buddhi, and still claiming, using the buddhi only, that the consciousness that is enlivening the buddhi, that I am the light of consciousness, and that light of consciousness is the pure consciousness. That is what the teaching is. Therefore, what I am rejecting is only my claim that I am this, because I am a subject and this is an object. But in order to claim and do any analysis, I need this. So it is like using the pot, at the same time there is no pot. So this is an ungrateful thing. So you are using one side a pot and say there is no pot. I am using the pot for utility, for transactions. I have to use the pot. At the same time, when I say there is no pot, I am looking at the higher order of reality of the pot and say it is nothing but clay only. What I am rejecting is only the form of the clay. In that form I am rejecting, and with the attributes of the form, whereas I am essentially identifying with the essence of it that pervades the pot. So what I am rejecting in the mind, Manasantu kim margane krute, what I am inquiring? I am only inquiring what is this mind made up of? It is nothing but Brahman only. How do I know that Brahman, it is made up of Brahman? Not by inquiring who am I. It cannot give you that. So for that I have to go to Vedanta Vichara only. So what is Vedanta Vichara? Tells you that how mind came into picture. Mind is nothing but Atma only, because it forms as the Akasha, Vayuhu, Agnihi, Apaha, Prithvi as a subtle element, and it is the subtle elements are forming the Antakaranam. The mind, the Antakaranam is made up of subtle elements, and that comes from the subtle 5 elements, and those 5 elements came from the Atma only, and that is Brahman only. So Manasantu kim margane krute, what is the nature of the mind? If you inquire using the mind, but using Vedanta, that what is skipping in that. So I had to use Vedanta Vichara to find out what is the mind. Naiva Manasam, Naiva Manas, there is no more mind. No more mind is not that, no more attributive content of a particular mind. Now I recognize the mind is nothing but Brahman only in this form. I say, how can Brahman infinite is in the form of a mind here, local mind? See, that's not what it says. You have to understand what part of that totality is here forming as the mind. That's why Krishna says, Brahmar Padam Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnyam Brahmanahudam, Brahmaivate Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. We chant this only for doing the before we offer something, we chant that, or before the food we chant that. What exactly it says? Brahma Arpanam. Brahma Arpanam is this Arpanam. Because at those days, even Grihasthas, only Grihasthas were doing the yajna, and they were pouring ghee using the ladle. And that ladle, Arpanam is the ladle, is Brahman, Brahma Arpanam. This Arpanam is equal to Brahman. So Manasam Tukim, Arpanam Tukim. If you ask, says there is no real Arpanam. Arpanam Nasti. What is there? Brahma alone is there. So essentially what I understand is, it is nothing but Brahman in the form of a ladle here. Why? Because the scripture says so. So how can Brahman is a conscious entity and this is unconscious entity? Brahman is infinite and this is a finite. How can you equate that into Brahman, into this ladle? Then you have to understand what you are equating is only, you are talking about the difference is only attributes of the object, but the essence itself is nothing but the existence. Ladle exists or not? Yes, it exists. The very existence is the Brahman part. Everything else is only Namarupatpakam Jagat. So I am rejecting that, called Bhagatyaga Lakshanam. And that's what he says here. So Bhaga Lakshana Yoditoho Naivam Amsasya Hi Tyagaha. So Nahi Evam Nahi, that's not so. Amsasya Bhagatyaga Lakshana Uditaha. So what part is rejected has already been as discussed before. So what part is rejected? Only superficial parts are rejected, but we are still equating the substantive. Therefore, when Ramana Maharshi says Manasantukim Margane Krute Naiva Manasam, it is not the absence of the mind, but absence of the superficial name and response that I am giving importance to, that is not there. What is there is nothing but the substantive, and the substantive is what? I am. How do you know that I am? Go to the Vedanta Vichara. Because Vedanta says, that's why Vedanta becomes a pramanam. Therefore, scripture has to be known. Says we don't need to study scriptures, it is no more mind. That's what gets confusion. It says no more mind, you cannot inquire anymore. Because even the inquiry, you need a mind. So, Naiva Manasam Marga, how do you know there is no mind? Who says there is no mind? If there is no mind, who is going to go say? Brahman doesn't need to say anything at all. So, who says that Naiva Manasam, there is no mind? If you are able to say that Naiva Manasam, you have already the mind. So for that you need a mind. So to claim that I am not a mind, you need a mind. To claim that I am Brahmasmi, you need the mind. But I am also claim that I am not the mind, using the mind at the same time, that which enlivens the mind. I am looking from the higher perspective and looking at the whole world and claiming that at a different order of reality I am identifying with. And that's what has to be. That's why Vedanta has to be studied under a competent teacher. Srotavya means under a competent teacher. Who is a competent teacher? The one who himself studied Vedanta for a prolonged length of time under a competent teacher. And all the way it goes to the Lord, because the Lord is the one who taught first to Brahmaji and so on. So this has to be clearly understood in terms of what exactly is involved here in the realization of Aham Brahmasmi. I had to use the mind to say there is no mind. So the same way in the J. Krishnamurti's teaching, your mind is conditioned, he says. If the mind is conditioned, so what should I do? Observe your mind, he says. He says, who is going to observe your mind? My mind. Is there something else for me to observe my mind? No, there is only mind only. So mind has to observe the mind which is conditioned. So with the conditioned mind, I am observing the conditionings. So how good that mind will be, like a thief is asking to find out who the thief is. So that's what essentially implies in the analysis of that. So one has to be careful here. Aham artha parityagat. This, in order to do, when I am rejecting that I am, what exactly you are rejecting? You are rejecting your superficial superimpositions of I am this, or limitations of desakala vastu parichinnatvam that you have superimposed on you. and recognize by rejecting all the superimpositions, claim that I am Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam. That means I am not limited by space-wise, time-wise, object-wise, because Aham Brahmasmi has to be understood. It is a cognitive understanding with the intellect only. I have to understand that I am not the intellect, but I am that which enlivens the intellect also. All that has to be clear, and he is going to discuss more about the jnana, ajnana and phalam and so on and so forth in the next few slokas. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.